We are live. Thank you. Okay. Welcome to episode 10 of the Bully Round Table. I'm your host, known as EBK Conway, and I have my co-host.
Tony Gold from Weight and Gold Kennels.
And once again, we have the Bully Doc in the building.
I'm Dr. Corey Key.
Okay. And then we got my man Damien on the technicals. All right, we about to share the link, and then we're going to get started. So just give me a second to share the link. Sorry we late. I'm going to blame it on the doc.
My fault.
Okay, just give me a sec. Actually, Damien, you said you had some questions lined up. You can go ahead and start those while I go ahead and get on YouTube and share this link real quick.
Okay, first question is from Paul.
Okay, welcome to episode 10. Hold on. I'm your host, known as EBK Conway, and I have my co-host,
Tony Gold from Weight and Gold Kennels.
Why is that? Why do I hear that? Is that you, David?
Yeah, it's playing back.
Somebody's listening to it and it's playing back. I can hear it. Okay, there we go. Okay, go ahead, Damien.
Sorry, first question is from Ball. He wants to know if you guys have ever dealt with heart murmurs, and if so, what's the best way to deal with them?
Okay, you already know who that question gotta go to.
No, come on, Lawrence. You got it.
I never dealt with a heart murmur. I never had a dog that had a heart murmur.
I mean, that's like a huge...
Actually, no, I had a puppy that had a slight heart murmur, but it went away.
That's a huge thing in our breed.
Well, I mean, it can be caused by so many different things. Something is, in puppies, it can be birth defect. It can actually even be caused by anemia that can actually go away. But, heart murmur is nothing to dismiss until you've had it checked by your veterinarian, and, they may have to do a full workup. Sometimes as puppies, we'll just say, watch it over the next few months, and if it doesn't go away, then we may have to do some, either an EKG or an ultrasound or something along those lines. So that's a huge question that there's not really a pat answer for. It just depends on the cause and the age of the dog and all that kind of good stuff. So.
Okay, and a follow-up question to that is, could heart problems be mistaken as heartworms, like false positive type question?
Well, heartworms can cause heart problems. So anytime we have a dog that's either not on preventative or it's kind of hit and miss, if they have a heart murmur, that's like number one on the list that you want to test for. Because if they have heartworms, then we can say, well, that may be the root cause of what's causing the heart problem. We need to treat the heartworms, but it may have lasting damage from the heartworms that's causing the heart, to have a murmur, to have other damage done to it.
So can the murmurs be corrected or fixed?
Usually once they have a murmur, depending on the cause. If it's a murmur caused by severe anemia, then yes, it can be reversed. But if it's a murmur caused by actual heart damage or a valve problem, then usually those murmurs are permanent.
Okay, next question. At what age can you determine whether or not a pup is going to be show quality, or is it more decided as they mature, 1-year-olds or above, or is it 8 weeks, or what's the age in your guys' opinion?
Want me to go?
Yeah, you can go.
It usually takes some time. I mean, usually, most puppies look pretty good until they start getting up there in age. I would say by 5-6 months, you pretty much know what you have as far as structure, from my experience. So if you have a puppy that's showing some flaws or faults already early, then you could best believe they're just going to get worse. So usually by 5 or 6 months, I personally know what I have, because you'll have some dogs that just don't show. They might have straight fronts, and then come come 4 months of age, 5 months of age, they start turning out a little bit. But usually by 6 months, I know.
Okay. Myself, I agree. I think that's why they they make you wait until a year old to know what class your dog is gonna be in, because they can change. You gotta have a puppy with straight fronts, and when it's 9 months old, the fronts could be easty, westy, or collapsed pasterns, or anything. So you know it depends on how the blood matures, I think. And it depends on who you're asking, because not every dog that somebody may think is show quality is show quality. All dogs are not show dogs. Like my Phantom is not a show dog. Go ahead, Damien.
Okay, next question is about showing. It says I'm very familiar with the show ring. Been involved with the breed about 2 to 3 years. I see a lot of inconsistency in judges, and I know you guys have went through this before. But they want you basically to give them a little bit of information about the process of how to interact with judges if you don't agree with their decision.
Well, the main thing is don't go up to a judge during the show. That's really unprofessional. You want to wait until you're completely done showing, the judge is done, and then respectfully go up and say, you didn't place my dog. Can you give me some pointers? What I need to do differently? Is there something about my dog that doesn't fit the standard? Ask them as if, because their decision is final, and you're paying for somebody's opinion. So you're not always going to agree with that judge or, another judge, and they're going to have something that they may see that a light bulb comes on, and you say, oh, I didn't recognize that in my dog. Because every one of us has a tendency to be kennel blind. So we think our dog is perfect. We think we know all the flaws, but we don't always know, what the judge is seeing. He may have seen, that dog on this particular day performed better, looked better, was just a better overall package.
Yeah.
Good, Lawrence.
Yeah, I mean, I usually, while everybody's walking out and the judges not being, talked to by anybody else, I usually ask why he didn't place the dog. You can't get upset. Like she said, it's somebody's opinion, and each judge is going to have a different opinion. That's why you can go on 3 different shows in the same day and get 3 different places with 3 different judges. So just ask, and whatever he says, if you think, you're getting an answer that just sounds good, just take it for what it is, and just, understand the game. And I've accepted. I've been through the getting mad and sitting there talking about F this, I ain't going no more shows, I ain't spending my money no more. But after you get over it, you go back. So
yeah, it's kind of a thing you just got to learn to deal with. Like Lauren said, you'll get fed up. You'll say you're not coming back. But if you want to show, you just have to deal with it. I mean, there are judges that are qualified and know how to do their job correctly, and there are other ones that just, you wonder how the hell are they a judge? But you want to look for signs like when you always have the right to ask a judge, why you didn't place you, why you didn't win, whatever, and you want to kind of pay attention to what kind of answer they give you. Judge should never tell you, well, I just like the other dog better, or he's just too big for my liking, or something. He's got to give a legitimate reason, within the standard. So he's going to have to tell you, this and that, or he'll tell you. For myself as a judge, I usually get it out the way with, because if I tell you to come back later and talk to me, I'm not going to remember your dog and the dogs you competed against. So I take that extra just 2 minutes, in between the classes to just go ahead and just explain it to you and give you my reasons. And I tell you, hey, you want to talk later further on this, feel free to, to come up to me later and we'll talk it over. So just pay attention to what, kind of dogs the judges are picking, and you just got to learn how to lose gracefully and educate yourself on a breed. That's basically it, because we're not going to keep everybody happy. I get chewed out all the time. Cursed at, I'm a son of a bitch, I'm an idiot. Everybody, thinks their dog should win. And it's not the case. In some cases, yes, it is, and you just have a judge just not doing their job correctly. But for the most part, most judges are good, and, we know how to do our job.
Yeah. We got
Next question. Go ahead, Lawrence.
Hey, man, we got a question from George Corona, and he wants to know what we use to worm our dogs. So I think we did this already, but
Yeah. You want to go, or you want me to go?
Well, we can do it quick. We ain't got to go into detail because we did
Right.
it. But I use Ivomec, I use parental palm away, and I use the Safeguard goat wormer. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, that's basically I use ivermectin, 1% injectable, but you can give by mouth also. Use that basically for heartworm, and it also does other parasites. It does roundworm. That's basically what I use it for. But I switch up. I also use the parental palmate. I'll use the Panicure or Safeguard. And then I like to use Adronto Plus, or I do the generic brand, the Canine All Wormer, which come in tabs. They come in 22 pounds or 88-pound tabs. And that's what we do. And if anyone needs any more detailed information exactly how to worm, you could always hit me up on Facebook or email me, and I can give you more information and guide you through it.
This is what I use for coccidia. I treat all my puppies for coccidia. This is what I use. The bully doc says she has something else. Can you message me on Facebook what it is so I can pull it up and show people what it is?
Yeah, hold on. I can try.
Yeah, just go ahead, Damien. Go to the next question. When she gets it, I'll put it up. This is what we use for coccidia. I treat all my puppies for coccidia, whether they show signs of it or not, because I've had it in my yard, and it takes like 2 years to get rid of. And if your dogs keep getting reinfected, the 2 years starts over. So I just treat my dogs every so often with it. But when she gets it, she'll put it up. Go ahead, Damien.
Okay, it said last year fleas were horrible, especially in the South. Can you guys give us some pointers on how to keep our dogs flea free? And what are y'all guys' opinions on Conformis? I think that's how you said it.
What is it?
Conformis is the pills, the flea pills you get at the vet.
I don't use that.
Let Corey get into that first. And
Well, I should have said I haven't used it. Not like I don't use it like it ain't nothing. I have never used it. Go ahead, Corey. Oh, we'll go ahead, Tone. Tone, you go while she's looking for that thing. Go ahead, Tone.
Let me send this to you real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Tone.
Okay. Basically, during the summer, to prevent fleas, I do a mixture of I do cedar flakes, and what I'll do, I have a big wheelbarrow, and I take cedar flakes, and I'll grab diatomaceous earth, and I throw the diatomaceous earth into the cedar flakes, and I mix it all in, and then I use that for their bedding inside their houses. I stuff their houses. I also use Frontline. That seems to work. It's probably not the best stuff, but I don't have any problems. I use the Frontline for fleas and ticks, and it works cool. I buy it in bulk. I don't buy it in the Frontline brand, but I buy the same active ingredient, and then I dose it myself. What else? And that's about it. If you do have any kind of fleas, Dawn dish detergent soap is great to wash them down with. It'll kill the fleas.
Don't kill the fleas.
I'm sorry, it stuns them. It
doesn't-
stuns them, and it, huh?
Let's do this. It doesn't kill the fleas. Fleas have oil all over their shells, and that's why they don't die when you wash your dog. They don't get wet because the oil rolls off of them. So when you wash them with the Dawn, it washes the oil off of their skin, and then the water can drown them. That's why they die.
Ah, well, I mean, it works. It kills them, whatever the reason is.
Whatever.
I mean,
Did you get that link?
Yeah, I'm about to put it up right now. I had to stop. I was in the middle of it, but I had to put it right quick. There we go.
so does it or does it not work? Does it or does it not kill them, Mark?
Absolutely works, but it doesn't.
Okay.
That's what I use too. I use the Dawn dish detergent. Well, usually sometimes when they get those bully bumps, it's from the fleas and mosquitoes and stuff like that. I use Dawn, vinegar and peroxide mix. Once I start seeing the bumps on them every 2 weeks, and it gets rid of the bumps. It's like you're sterilizing the skin, but the Dawn gets rid of the fleas because of the oil thing. There we go. Let me make sure y'all can see that there. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes.
All right, this is what Doc uses for coccidia. Go ahead, explain how this is used. And
Ultrazoro, is that how you say it?
Ultrazoro.
Ultrazoro. What to? Ultrazoro.
You can do a search. I think the pig one is probably cheaper, but if it has a horse on it, it's going to be more expensive. But anyway, it's off-label usage, but you can give it to puppies at 3 to 4 weeks as a preventative for coccidia. And then if they come down with coccidia, it's a 3 to 4 day treatment versus Albon, which you have to now do about 28 days to be able to.
Oh, man.
So it's a big difference, and you don't have to give a lot of volume, so it really comes out to be a lot cheaper than Albon too.
Well, I've had coccidia. I actually had it ripped back. Huh?
You personally?
No, not
Yeah.
me. Oh, my.
That's why so much shit's coming out of his mouth.
I had some. Shut up, you hater. I had some puppies that had coccidia real bad. I mean, it was blood and everything in there. So, I used that Corid, and it works quick. It works real quick. I'm telling you. I mean, blood in the stool, covered in jelly, with water, clear water all in it. Throwing up. And I give them the Corid, and the following day it's already stiff. And then I just give it for 5 days straight. And I keep it. On that. I don't keep it in the package because my hands get wet, so I just dump it in a bag like this. But I keep it, and maybe every month and a half, I just take a sprinkle full and put it in that water. I got the Albon too, but I don't even use this crap, man. This stuff gets all over them. This is what they give. See, this is the 5%, so you got to give a lot more than the 12%.
I got the 12%, 12.5%.
The 12% is a lot stronger, so the puppies hate it even more. But this is a little sweeter, but it gets all over their freaking neck and fur. I don't even use this crap.
I'm gonna give that what is it? Baycox it's called?
Baycox. Yep.
I'm gonna give that a try.
Go ahead, Damien.
Ready for the next question?
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Next question. Let me see. Who do I want?
Now he's picking and choosing.
Get a good
one. Okay.
Hey, no offense to anybody. Let's do this. No offense to anybody. But if somebody asks a question that's already been asked, especially more than once, then we'll just refer to the older videos. It's in there. The information is in there. We don't want to keep repeating the same information. So if anybody asks the same question, Damien, then we'll just say, that's been asked, refer to the other videos, and go to the next one.
All right, next question I think is a pretty good one. Is about selective breeding.
Mhm.
They want to know a little bit about the process of selective breeding. They say they know the basic concept of selective breeding, but can you talk about some of the benefits to the actual breed? And they say they know, of course, you would get better dogs, but how long would it actually take to create the dogs that we have now within selective breeding?
Hold on. Tone, you want to take that first? Where's Tone? He stepped off.
I'm right here.
All right, take that, Tone.
Um, well, um, so basically, they want to know what the I had to step away for a minute. They want to know the benefits of selective breeding and how long would it take for our breed to become consistent if we selectively bred.
Essentially, they want to know what are the benefits of selective breeding and how long, ideally, would it take to create dogs that we have now that people create with cheating in the selective breeding process?
Well, I don't know because I think a lot of the dogs that we have now are crap. I mean, they don't have a distinct look, and I mean, there's no consistency in the dog, so you really can't make that comparison. But I mean, the benefits of selective breeding are basically that producing a good quality dog consistently and producing a dog with breed type. Which dog with breed type is a dog that um, it is basically the face of the breed. It's distinguished. So that's what selective breeding gives you. It gives you a consistent look, a consistent type of dog. It eliminates variables as far as health issues or um, looks. Um, and it takes to achieve like a great deal of change. Like I just say, I mean, it just takes time. It takes years and years for a breed to really morph into something else if you're sticking within that gene pool. So the only way to get like the look of these dogs that we have today are just by straight mixing, and that's why you just have 100 different looks. I mean, you can go on social media right now and you see just dog after dog. They look completely different. Go ahead. You want to touch on that, Corey or
Yeah,
Law?
that's a
Um,
loaded question.
yeah, let me go real quick because I wanted to. Oh, Cayenne wants to get in. I'm gonna let him in. I'm gonna just do this real quick. The reason why I chose my kennel name was actually because of selective breeding. So I'm gonna put up the meaning of what my kennel name means. Um, it's a study or belief in the possibility of improving the qualities of a human species, and I changed that into dogs. Um, by such means as discouraging reproduction by dogs having genetic defects that have inheritable. That's why I chose the name eugenics for my kennel name. So I believe in that. Everybody knows I say it all the time. I have faults that I need to work out in my program, but I pick the dogs that I use in my program for the traits that I want. I like the shorter dogs. I like the really thick bone. I like the shoulders, the drop, all that. So I pick dogs that carry those traits, and that's why I picked that name for my kennel name. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, that question is so loaded. Um, and I agree with Tony. The dogs that we have, a lot of the dogs we have today, that's not selective breeding, that's just cheating. I did a whole like 2-page spread in the book about how you could go. I used Little Row as my example, and how you could go from the dog's 10 generations back and get to a dog like him. I know there's rumors that he's not what they say he is, but I have the picture proof to show the transition from the dog's 10 generations all the way up to him, and it can be done if you breed and you have one particular dog that has this particular structure, and you take that dog and you breed it to another dog that has the structure that you want, and you keep doing that generation after generation, and eventually you have something similar to what you want. But the dogs of today are so bulldog looking that it's not the original vision that they had for the breed in the beginning. So, but that's kind of my personal beef with the way everything's been going over the last few years. So.
Okay. Go ahead, Damien.
Cameron wants to know what's the difference between the bully game and the pit bull game, and if you guys have had experience in both, which do you prefer?
There's a big difference between the pit.
I guess it's probably a question for me.
I mean, the pit bull game, it depends on which game you're talking about. I mean, you got people that breed and do pulling events and things like that, and then you got people that breed for fighting. I don't think there's a pit bull game unless you're talking about fighting dogs. So the bully breed is pretty much just, it's a designer dog, and it's a dog that, I mean, it's just meant to bring all sorts of different types of people together. I mean, that's the difference. Like, it's a family type dog. It's a dog that you can have your children around. That's why we throw these shows and don't have a problem. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody's kid getting bit at a show. I seen a grown man get bit at a show because he was a dumbass.
Yeah, I seen that too.
You remember that, right, Tom?
That was a mess.
I mean,
yeah, he got lit up on both arms.
Both arms, and you could see it before it happened that he was gonna get bit just by the way he grabbed his dog.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a big difference. I don't even think that needs to be explained. To me, there's really no pit bull game unless you're talking about underground fighting or something like that. Now, we don't get into none of that. Go ahead, Damien.
Okay, next question.
Wait, you wanted to go on that, Tom?
Huh?
You wanted to say something on that?
Well, I mean, I can if I want to explain. I mean, I've had experience with both breeds. I've conquered both breeds. So, I mean, they're just two completely different breeds as far as their demeanor. American Pit Bull Terrier is excellent dog, great family dog, but they're a handful. They require a lot of exercise. They're a high energy animal. They're a working breed, and they tend to be animal aggressive. They have that prey drive, so they're a lot harder to manage. Of course, there's going to be differences as far as the communities, because like with American Pit Bull Terriers, I mean, you have the show version and you have the working version, and they're both pretty much the same dog, and some people will show and work their dogs also. But it does bring completely kind of different kind of people, but also the same, because a lot of people that we have in American Bully have transitioned over from the American Pit Bull Terrier. But the American Bully is just bred, it's a designer breed. It's bred for companionship. It's not bred for any kind of working ability. I mean, some of us, I like a functional dog, so I try to get Bully and a dog that's still workable. But the breed in itself, as far as a standard, is just not meant for that.
Okay.
All right.
Corey?
I got nothing. No. I did never breed American Pit Bull Terrier, so I don't have any kind of frame of reference for that. So that's Justin. If you were here, he'd be able to give you the whole rundown. But
Go ahead, David.
Okay, next question is, I heard you guys say before that you breed for temperament, and Lawrence, I think you said you breed for a pretty dog, a pretty face as well. Do you think the temperament and pretty aspects are overlooked by other breeders who only breed for, I guess, things like mass and stuff like that?
Some breeders concentrate. I mean, all breeders have whatever it is that they like that they concentrate on. Like Henshaw, he likes dogs that fly. You know what I mean? So I'm waiting on Cayenne. He says he's trying to get in. He likes dogs that could fly through the air and are built a certain way. And I like dogs that are really short and stocky. Everybody has their different idea of what they want. So I concentrate on certain things. I won't breed dogs that show any type of aggression. That's how I concentrate on my temperament. Any aggression. When somebody comes to my yard, my dogs bark, they go off, but I don't allow my dog. I don't want to breed or keep any dogs that I have to worry about. I'm past that. I'm too old for that now. So that's it. And the faces. If I don't like looking at a dog's face, um, not the head, the face, like from the nose to the eyes, this area right here. If I don't like looking at it, I won't keep it or breed it. Corey?
Don't you think that a lot of breeders are not focusing enough on temperament, though? I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of, I think, behavioral issues that come up that, and some of that's handling, but I just really think that bully breeders as a whole, I hate to lump everybody together, but they don't really pay much attention to that. You know, if they have a 25-inch head, which, by the way, not very many dogs do, you know, they just, like, throw everything else out the window, and they're like, oh, well, we don't care about, you know.
I mean, I think it depends on the blood, though. Like, the bigger dogs tend to be more aggressive just because of the blood that's behind them. So it depends on what blood you breed, and that's going to determine what your dog's temperament is going to be naturally anyway. I mean, certain bloods have been bred down so much with the temperament that I could take Boss out anywhere, and anybody can walk right up to him and grab a hold of him and hug him and do whatever they want, and he won't do
That's how it's supposed to be. That's how my dogs are too, you know. But there's a difference. I mean, people don't. But it's just the reason that certain blood or certain strains are like that is because people didn't practice selective breeding. They overlook. The people in this community are lazy. They don't sit there. They don't breed best of the best. How many times do we see people judges putting up breedings with puppies, registry owners putting up banners of puppies being bred together? How do you know what they're going to turn out like? Understand? So these people are not analyzing their stock. They're not going over their stock and really saying, well, this dog's strong suits are in this area, and this is this. They're going to make a good pair. Or this dog's going to have ill temper. Most people are invested. They've raised a dog. They bank on that one puppy they keep out of a litter, so they're going to breed that dog regardless. So that dog develops temperament issues. It ends up being aggressive, ends up having flaws. You know, they're still going to breed it. Doesn't matter. And that's where we fall short.
I have an example in our own house. We kept a female from a breeding 2.5 years ago. Loved her as a puppy, grew up beautiful, and then all of a sudden at 2, I was like, what the? I don't know what happened to this dog, but she's got a high rear, and she's kind of weird looking, and I think we might want to sell her. I'm definitely not going to breed her. And then in the last, 6-8 months, she just blossomed and everything fell into place, and I was like, oh, well, that's good that we kept her, but I was ready to be like, no, she needs to go to a pet home and she's 2.5, so some of these dogs just fall apart and then they come back together or not, but you can't just bank everything on a puppy that, you know, you kept it, so you got to breed it. Not every dog needs to be bred, and that's the bottom line.
I'll tell you what. It depends on how much you care about what you're doing, what your reputation is, what people come back to you and things like that. Because I made a decision because of an experience I had not to breed dogs with aggression issues. Now I can handle dogs like that. I actually like dogs like that, but if you're a breeder, not everybody knows how to deal with a dog that acts like that naturally. You know what I'm saying? They say, oh, it's the way you raise them. It's the way the dog is bred. If the dog is bred like that, it doesn't matter how you raise them. If you don't know how to handle the dog is going to get aggressive. And I bred my first 2 bullies 2 times, and both times they gave me real aggressive puppies. And what happened was I had all my customers calling my phone. They don't know what's wrong. This dog all of a sudden wants to eat their mother's Yorkie. And they bit the husband when he tried to separate the dogs fighting over a toy. And so I got tired of having to have people come back to my house and I'm trying to work with the dog. And then they take the dog home and they're not doing what I told them to do, so the dog continues to. I don't want to deal with that at all. So that's why I stopped breeding dogs like that. And so I pretty much made a decision. I was forced into making sure I pay attention to that with my dogs. Go ahead, Damien.
Okay, we got somebody who oh, sorry about that. That should be better. We got somebody who's having some issues with, I guess, dominance. They're wanting to know, how do you correct that behavior she has a male pup, is not an American bully. She just wants to know in general, how do you, I guess, establish yourself as the alpha in your pack?
What kind of dog is it?
And what kind of issues?
Right, because it would depend on what the dog is, how it's bred, what the.
Well, it's a Doberman that's in here, but she doesn't give any details. Let me ask her, if y'all give me a second.
I mean, no, the same way you would discipline your children, I discipline my dogs. But you know, when you have a dog that young that's trying to dominate you, especially with aggression, it has a lot to do with the way the dog is bred. Um, I mean, for the most part, Dobermans are guard dogs, but they're unstable. From history, what I know about them. But depending on how the dog is bred, is going to determine why he's acting like that.
I wouldn't say they're unstable. If a well-bred Doberman is nice. I mean, I grew up with a Doberman, a German import actually, as a child, and I mean they're excellent dogs. But they're a dog that's a guardian breed, like you said. They're a dog that's made to protect. So they naturally want to be dominant. So you got to have a strong hand. You got to be.
Oh, you got to be hands-on with the dog, and you have to be aggressive with the way you handle the dog. Because a lot of times, like even with food aggression, sometimes it's not genetic. Sometimes it's the way the dog was kept with puppies.
Yeah.
If you got 10 puppies eating out of the same bowl and there's not enough food for all of the puppies, they're going to become aggressive towards each other to fight for food. And that's how you get the food aggression. So it's a lot of factors. We can't answer something like that directly, but dealing with the aggression, you have to be firm. You can't be afraid. Like you don't want to beat the dog up. You don't want to smack the dog, but you want to be dominant to the dog. You want to, if you have to hold the dog down, or if you have to stand over the dog and back the dog down into a corner, and just stand there and just look at the dog until the dog turns their head away. And when they turn their head away, then you relax and you back off. I mean, there's different ways to deal with it. Everybody has the different methods. That's what I do. If I have a dog that's trying to challenge me, I'll just back him into a corner and I'll just stand there and look at him until he turns his head. And when he turns his head, that's a sign of submission. And then I'll back off, and then I'll come back and I'll look at him again and make sure he submits again, and then I'll walk away. Corey?
I mean, we need to know more details, obviously, about her particular situation, but the key a lot of times is consistency, and also having a calming, you don't want a lot of mixed signals, and you want the dog to be in the right frame of mind to be able to deal with whatever's going on in the house. So, if it's food aggression, I used to do exactly what you're saying, and we still do, but now all the behaviorists are saying, well, there's really no such thing as alpha and dominance, and I don't personally agree with that. The veterinary behaviorists are saying different things about, feed them Cheese Whiz and everything will be all... I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that you have to let that dog know that that behavior is not acceptable. You have to instill in them confidence, because a lot of times it's fear aggression too that you're dealing with, and they're fearful, they don't know what to do, and so they lash out aggressively, and I think that becomes an issue in and of itself. So
every species of animal has their own language. Just like you breed horses, right, Corey?
Yeah.
And horses can recognize facial expressions, body language, the way you stand your body, and the,
Yep.
you know, reference to where they stand, and they recognize the same thing with dogs. So,
Yep.
you know, dog language is different than people language. When dogs get upset with each other and they want to correct each other, they grab each other by the scruff, they grab each other by the muzzle, and they pin them down to the floor until the dog submit. It's different language for, you know, the dog. You have to understand that. So
Right.
you can't feel bad when if your dogs are going out of control, you grabbing them by the scruff and picking them up and giving them a shake and then putting them down on the floor. If he's overboard, if he's aggressive towards you, that's what you need to do for him to respond, because that's dog language. You gotta speak dog language.
Right.
People that keep wolves in captivity, they need to learn the facial expressions that wolves make in order to become one with the pack. So it's no different. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, no, I mean it's basically what you said. You know, it's you know, the thing where people go, the area where people go wrong is not being consistent. And the worst thing that anyone could do is treat a dog like a human. You know, that's what in today's society and what everyone treats their dogs like humans. Now, I'm not saying don't love your dogs. I love my dogs and I treat them good, but my dogs know that they're beneath me. You know, and you'll have a dog that respects you a lot more, and he'll be a happier dog in the long run.
Yeah.
But you want to stay consistent. You want to stay dominant, consistent. You don't want to beat them. You don't want to make them fearful of you, because you want them to be confident. You don't want them to be a fear biter or something like that, because dogs, that's where a lot of kids or humans get bit by dogs that are just fear biters. They're just uncertain of themselves, and you know, they snap, and they usually just bite once or nip and then release. You know.
And dogs are gonna learn like your children. So if you're really hard on them when they're young, and stay on top of them when they're young, and don't let them really get away with much. Like my wife used to be always on the dog, and now when they get a year old, and she sees how I just look at them, and they know what I want them to do, and I don't have to say anything to them. They know where they're supposed to go from point A to point B without being told to do that, and she understands. If you spend the time with your dogs when they're young, teaching them what you expect them to do, and following through and not calling the dog and he don't listen, and you go, that stupid dog. If he don't listen, go get him and bring him where you want him. It's that simple.
Don't beat him when you get there.
No, but you want to bring him to where you at. Like if I'm outside and one of my dogs run off, I don't chase him because they think that's a game. So when I get him to come to me, I'll grab him by the scruff and I'll bring him to me and I'll call him. I'll say, come here. And then I'll move away from them and I'll call them again and make them come to me again. And then they understand that when I say come here, it's not for you to run around and play around.
Yeah, you want to make sure that they respond to your command. You know, you don't want to keep repeating yourself. What you see a lot of, like, I see this often. Everyone says, come here, boy. Come here, come here, come here. Come here. The dog understands it's a joke, man. You're going to keep repeating yourself. It doesn't have to come.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. It's not hard. People think it's hard to train their dogs because they give up too easy. If their dog doesn't respond, they get frustrated, then they give up. Or they spend too much time trying to work the dog. When you're training your dog, you don't want to overwork your dog. You don't want to spend more than 10, 15 minutes at a time training your dog. And they'll respond real well to you. We're going to do that one day on the show. We're going to give some tips and you know, show a little bit about how, you know, our dogs responded to commands and how we get them to do that. I mean, it's not hard. Now,
I want to touch on what...
Some dogs are naturally hard-headed and don't listen for shit anyway, but those are dogs that you don't want to breed. I mean, you got to call if your dog is 2 years old and it knows his name and you calling him and calling him and calling him, it's not coming to you, and you know it doesn't have a hearing problem, it's a dumbass dog.
Or you just didn't do your job. I mean, most dogs can be trained, though. You know, most dogs can be trained. Usually, if it's...
Like, there's some dogs, and I'm sure somebody out there has a dog like this. You ever notice you have that one dog that you'll call them, and they'll look at you. They'll look at you like this, while they're running around ignoring you to make sure that you're not coming to get them. And
Uh-huh.
they won't come to you.
Everybody has
They
one of
know
those.
what they know what you want them to do. They know that you call them. They know what's gonna happen when you catch them, but they still do this and run around and try to stay away from you. I can't stand them type of dog. So,
Yeah. Well, yeah. But like you said earlier, the key is like don't let from the beginning set your boundaries. You know, you want to set the boundaries from the beginning. Like me personally, when I raise puppies, you know, I lay the foundation. The puppies are crate trained. They're not allowed to get on furniture or do certain things. Now, once they respect their boundaries, then I give them their freedom. You know, but those boundaries are set from the beginning. You don't want a dog to have freedom. Most people allow their puppies, oh, it's a puppy, and they just let them do whatever they want, and then it becomes a habit.
look, this is boss. Everybody know boss. You know, put your boss up. Sit. Look here. Then go. Sit. Then go. Sit. Good girl, mama. Hey, Phantom. Come. Come on, fat ass.
Yo, are you wearing skinny jeans?
No, these is not skinny jeans. I'm just getting fatter. One time, no, you gotta land. They were all sleeping. I tell them to do something. That's what they do. And now they waiting.
Nice.
They waiting for me to tell them what to do next. Right, homies? That's what happens when you spend time training a dog. Lingo's only 6 months old. Thank you. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Damien.
Well done.
Okay, next question is, if you guys had to start out with a new breed tomorrow, what would it be? No more bullies for any of you.
American Pit Bull Terrier.
It would depend on if we had a budget, because
Pit bulls or bullies?
I might have to go get me a whole yard of Tibetan Mastiffs or something like that.
Woo. Nah, you just said, man, you said you don't like to deal with dogs that are aggressive.
Listen, those dogs are beautiful, man. When they get their
They
full mate,
are, but they're a handful.
they are.
They're a
Yo,
handful. Let me grab my charger.
I saw a documentary where they took like all these different breeds of dogs and were trying to see how trainable they were to be police dogs, and the Tibetan Mastiff was a 0. They are not trainable. They're not trainable at all. They went to the whole academy thing and everything. They're not trainable at all. So
I believe that. That's what I'm saying. They're the complete opposite of everything that you hate.
Well,
I mean,
love the way they look, though,
it's
man.
that you love. It's everything that you hate.
If you notice, I own a Boston Terrier because he's like almost 17 years old, and he just ain't gonna kick the bucket. He be looking like he going, and then he jumps 5 feet in the air and surprises the hell out of me. So I know he got about a couple more years in him, but I don't own any other dogs besides bullies. So if I had to stop bullies, I would probably go to Tibetan Mastiff.
Yeah.
Tom.
Hold on. Go to. I'm trying to plug my phone in, so go to Corey.
Standard poodle.
Standard poodle.
Oh, house to the no-no.
How you go from a bully to a standard poodle?
Oh
I
no.
always wanted a standard poodle. Before I die, I'm gonna have one.
What kind of?
I know some breeders, Corey. So let me know when you're ready.
Okay. Yeah. Can you imagine?
Standard poodle?
Oh my God.
Rhodesian
Phone
Ridgeback.
shut off.
Okay, go ahead, Damien. Tony's fired.
Oh, Tony's not gonna go? Okay. Next question. Okay, what Let me see if I can word this correctly because it's not written correctly. It's, basically, this is a question about temperament. They want to know what are some of the keys to getting a stable, calm temperament. Is it just genetics? Is it interaction with the breeder or the owner? Because it says, I love the way boss looks, but I think they mean when you're training him. So they're basically wanting to kind of get some information on temperament.
Um, Hold on, just give me 1 second. Cayenne sent me his real email address this time.
All this time
Maybe.
you've been trying to get him on.
Hold on, wait. He just sent me another one now. How many emails you got, man? Hold up. If you can. Yeah, all right, I did that. I got that. All right. So when I got Boss, he was already like real calm, like real gentle. All my dogs, like even Lingo. Lingo was a puppy, and if I put food out in my hand, she won't like take it. She's scared to take it. She don't even want to put any pressure on my hand. So I pick dogs like that. I like dogs that are real conscious of how they are with other things. Boss was like that, and he's real attentive. You don't want a dog that as a puppy doesn't pay attention to you, doesn't want to be around you, doesn't want to be bothered you. It's not going to be an easy dog to train. A dog that wants to be around you and gets happy, you see how they all watch to see what I want them to do next is because that's what they like. They like to please you. They're interested in what you want them to do, and they like the praise that you give them afterwards. So they want to do it just for the praise. If you get some dogs just don't want to do that. Some dogs just don't want to listen. They don't want to. My hands work, and those dogs are still trainable, but it's just harder. Easy dogs to train are dogs that are real gentle, calm, are not real excitable. Um, the aggression, even with taking stuff out of your hands from puppies. Your puppy shouldn't be like when you give them something to eat, he's trying to chew your fingers off. They should take it real soft and make sure they don't touch your fingers when they take something out of your hand. Go ahead, Corey.
Well,
Welcome, Cayenne. What's up, brother?
Trying to
yeah,
get
we got Cayenne in.
homie.
Finally got him in.
Yeah, I've been battling with my iPhone and my email account, so I do apologize, my friend.
It's all right, man. It's all right.
Appreciate y'all.
We threw some jokes at you.
What up?
I heard.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. There's some things to look for when the puppies are first born, through weaning, and you want to pick that dog that is confident but not overly aggressive. I mean, not shy. I mean, the more puppies that you raise, the more that you'll be able to recognize those traits, and then you take that and you harness it. And you want that, you're right, you want that puppy that likes attention, that wants to please, that is, wants to be with people but isn't trying to dominate people. There's just a lot of things to look for that, you can see from early on and be able to pick a puppy based on temperament.
Yep. Go ahead, Tom.
All right, well, I didn't hear the question, but I basically got the gist of it from hearing your answers. I look for just like you guys said. I mean, I look for the puppies that are more alert, that allow you to flip them on their backs. The ones that I play close attention. I like the ones that, figure things out the quickest. The ones that are getting out of the whelping box first. I mean, to me, I like dogs that, I put toys, in the whelping pen with them, and I see what dogs, how they play with the toys, which ones, how they interact with each other. So, I mean, I want a docile dog, but I want a dog that's very outgoing, friendly, and just is happy every time. You see some puppies that kind of say to themselves, even when you walk up to the pen, and you got other ones that they're trying to fight to get to you first. So those are the things I look for in a pup.
Okay, go ahead, Cayenne.
I think they both hit the nail on the head pretty much with how they described their process. I mean, I think that they, like I said, they covered all the basics.
Okay. Alrighty. Go ahead, Damien.
Okay, next question says I had a litter, but the mother will not nurse the pups. What are some of the steps I can take to make sure that my pups stay healthy? And will they miss out on anything that I need to add to their nutrition by not getting milk directly from the mother?
Okay.
Well, how old are the puppies?
Well, my first question would be
Well,
why.
it was two.
Right.
In the thing it said 2 weeks. So
Okay, so at 2 weeks, she just stopped feeding them?
I think that she hasn't fed them, but the pups are 2 weeks old now. That's
Oh
the
man,
gist.
it's a little late to be asking that question now. If if you have the mother there with you, the question will be why is she not feeding them? That's why I want to know, like, why is she not feeding them? Because if it's because she's just not trying to stay in there and feed them, then you need to make her feed them. Like, if at all possible, you want to try to make sure that they eat off of their mother, unless it's just not possible. So if she's there and she's capable of feeding them, then you want to try to make her feed them. You don't want to put a muzzle on her and hold her down. You want to lay her down and calm her down and keep one hand on her, rubbing her, keeping her calm while you put the puppies on her and just stay there with her while she's feeding her puppies. If you're scared she's going to hurt them, then take them away after they eat. If it's because of mastitis and things like that, then it's nothing you can do about it. If at all possible, if she's there and she can feed them, I will make her feed them. That's what I do. That.
Yeah, I think we'd need to know, is this like from the beginning or did it just start? It could be mastitis, like you said. There could be some other issue going on. So I think we don't have really enough.
You know what, too? I had a problem with coccidia, and the mother would not feed them because she didn't want to clean them. And I didn't know why, and it was because they had coccidia, and she didn't want to eat it. I guess it was really acidic, and
Right.
she didn't want to eat it at all, and she didn't want nothing to do with them puppies. So once I treat the puppies for coccidia and treat her for coccidia, and then she stayed in there and fed them.
That's interesting. Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, you're good.
He says, I have put her in the whelping box and made them feed, but she's really just disinterested in feeding them at all. It's a struggle to get her to interact with the puppies at all.
I mean, you know, some of that's genetic. I mean, some of that's genetics. I mean, some females are just bad mothers. You know, you find that in bull terriers. I bred bull terriers. Bull terriers, most of them are horrible mothers. They'll take care. Some won't take care of them out the gate. You just got to lay them down every 2 hours and put the puppies on them. And then others will take care of them. And then come one day, 2 weeks, 3 weeks old, they don't want anything to do with them. Some even kill their puppies. We had a female with 6 puppies. Was fine. Puppies were 2.5 weeks old. Came there one day. She had killed all the pups.
Damn.
Wow.
Bull terriers. So
When he says
bull
that,
terriers are known for that.
when he says that she's disinterested in feeding them, I mean, let me show you. This is how I get my bitch to lay down. So maybe an example will help you out. Come here, boss. Boss, come on.
Well, you're only going to get as far as the time you want to put in.
Certain ways, it's easy to lay a bitch down. I stay on this side, grab him by this leg like this, and I just lay him down like that. And then I pull the other leg under them, so that way all the tips is out. And then I just sit there and I go like that. And I put the puppies on there and I just sit there and I make sure all the puppies eat. And I just keep rubbing her and just encourage her like that. Just keep rubbing her. And then when you got the puppies there, to get her to clean her, you hold them in front of her. She don't want to clean her, then you can clean them yourself. It's better than not having them eat. But if she's standing up, yeah, boy, she's fighting you. If you pull his leg under her, you can flip her over. Don't force her over. She's going to fight you. Just do it slow. Lay her down. Hold your hand on her like that. Move.
Yeah.
And just rub her. Make her feel comfortable. Because if it's a first-time mother, she may be afraid. She may not know. She hear them screaming and moving around, squirming like that, and she want to get away from them. So you want to just make her feel, comfortable with it.
Well, the thing is, and if she won't turn to her side and lay like that, you could only blame yourself because that means you didn't put the time into the dog.
Yeah, you should be able to do it. Come here. If you picking your dog up and your dog is fighting you all over the place because he don't trust you, your dog should trust you. You should be able to do whatever you want to do. Dog. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's how it should be right there.
And he don't trust you. If you pick your dog up and turn him on his back like that, and he freak out, he don't trust you.
Yep.
Hey, Lawrence, careful doing all that lifting, man. I'm gonna have to run you to the hospital tomorrow. I don't want you to have to get a bacchiotomy. We don't need you to get that bacchiotomy, man. Come on.
Go ahead, Kaye.
I mean, I just usually do what y'all are talking about. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've sat in my whelping room and sat down with a bitch, and that was my evening, is helping, make sure everybody is on point. Everybody, if she's a little antsy, I'm trying to be there and comfort her and make her comfortable with the situation and the puppies. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, with the 2 weeks, I just find that odd because if she was saying, or if they were saying it was happening right as the puppies,
right,
a couple days old, I'd be like, oh, okay, I feel you. She's new to the game as far as, she's just an antsy mom. But, like you said, I mean, most of mine, what you did on that couch is 9 out of 10 times what I'll do with a bitch if I feel like, number one, she has too many puppies and I want to get everybody an equal opportunity on, getting nursed. So, I mean, I've never dealt with something like that at 2 weeks old myself. So, I mean.
The only time
you're like, how did I make it to 2 weeks?
Tony, you remember when when Sadie wanted to feed her puppies?
Right.
They weren't in that age, and that was because they had coccidia or Giardia. I just treated them for both. But I noticed that their anuses was getting real raw and pink, and so that told me that there's a lot of acid in their stool, and that's why she didn't want to clean them because it tastes nasty. It's already nasty enough they eating the puppy's poop, but
probably
it's real acidic that it's burning the puppy's skin. Then it's obviously it's probably really strong, and that's why she don't want to eat it.
Yeah. The thing is, for the 2-week-old puppies, man, you just got to make it a little bit long. You got to just stay on it. The good thing is they made it to 2 weeks. Now they only need to eat about every 4 hours. 4 hours. So just make every 4 hours, you got to make it priority that you're laying her down and putting those puppies on her. They're good. You might even be able to stretch it to 5 hours, at this age. Make it to 3 weeks. Once they make it to 3 weeks, then you're good. You can start them even at 2.5 weeks. I fed puppies raw as early as 2.5 weeks. But usually that's a little early. A lot of puppies won't take to food. But make it to 3 weeks, and then you can go ahead and start feeding them in a dish and start making them some mush. Goat's milk, formula, whatever. Start, grind up some puppy food into a fine powder and mix it in with a formula and water, and they should take to it, and you'll be good.
I have actually have a video on YouTube, right? If you can get them, to make it till next week, I have a video on YouTube on my YouTube channel. It's called How to Make Puppy Mush. So all you gotta do is go on my YouTube channel, and it's Eugenics Bullies. It's on YouTube.
Oh no!
Go there. Stop being a hater, Tony. Stop being a hater. And I give a breakdown. I give a complete breakdown on how to make the mush. Just make sure you make it watery enough for the young puppies. And as they get older, you just thicken it up. So I got a whole video, and so do a lot of other people, as you can see on the side of the video, on how to make the mush for the really young puppies. So if you want that, like I say, go on my page, Eugenics Bullies at youtube.com, and look for the video on how to make puppy mush. I break it down, everything I put inside. I feed my puppies raw from the start. Their first meal is the only meal that they don't get no raw. After that, I start like giving them little pieces of raw. Um, right when they start, starting and wanting to nibble and stuff. I'll make sure it's nice and fine. I'll put it on my finger and let them get rid of it. And as the days go by, I start adding more and more. But they start off on raw and everything. So there's a video on my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Go
remember,
ahead.
just type in, if you can't find them, just type in Big Sexy.
Nah, me.
Nah, me.
Hater.
Hey, I'm not hating. Right. You can't stay boring the whole show, man. I mean,
But go ahead, Dave. Oh wait, anybody want to add anything to that? Cayenne, Dot.
I'm good.
Okay, go ahead, Damien.
Okay, I just put some pictures in our Google Hangouts. We got a listener that wants you guys to review those pictures and give your opinion of the dogs. Both are Miyagi sons.
Oh lordy.
Oh boy. Well.
They're certified by
I
ABKC,
already
so they're not
know.
bashing.
You know what?
I already know.
I ain't gonna front. I actually like that top dog. I ain't gonna do no fronting. He's nice. They both nice, but
I don't know how to.
I like both.
And the blood ain't going nowhere. It is what it is. As long as people moving it in the right direction and doing the right thing with it, I'm all for it. That's a nice dog.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I stay away from certain blood. I don't want any French bulldogs in my gene pool and stuff like that. So
There's
there's some nice dogs.
It didn't ask you if you was gonna own it. It asked you what your.
I mean, I wouldn't breed to it, but I mean, you said you like that blood and stuff, but I personally won't. I personally stay away from a lot of different bloods for the health issues and stuff. I mean, come on. I mean, out of a 2,000 offspring, you're bound to get one or two good dogs. I mean, or whatever. You're gonna get some good dogs here and there, especially in these dogs.
I think you missed the question.
But no, but I'm putting on what you said. I'm going on what you said. That's where I'm commenting on. As far as the two dogs, I know exactly what dogs. I think they both are. They carry a pretty good structure. I think the bottom one, the one on the bottom, is Grand Champion Major, owned by Anthony Gray. So he is a champion or a grand champion. So he's a nice specimen. The top dog is I think that's Khan's dog.
I like that.
Or something. Yeah, he's pretty nice. He's stacked real good. That's a trick stack right there. I've seen other pictures of him. Still has good structure, decent structure, but not as good as he looks in the picture. But he's a nice dog, Khan's breeding some really nice dogs. He's done a lot with that exotic blood. Really, really surprised me. He's probably done better than anyone out there, with the back and the Aggie blood.
All right, Cayenne.
I've seen Major a few times. I haven't seen the other dog. I like Major, but I'm gonna have to ride with Tony on this. There's some bloods. If we're talking about interjecting, there's some bloods I'm just not ready and willing to interject into my gene pool quite yet. I feel like I've got enough Bulldog and Mastiff already in me.
Yeah.
Dot.
Yeah, somebody's gonna have to show me how to see the pictures because.
Well, yeah, you're an amateur. We got to teach you some things.
Well, I don't know how to do it either, Corey. So I just happened to see the pictures earlier.
I'm gonna put them up. Hold on, I'm gonna put them up.
It took me 30 minutes to get on. I'm scared to click.
Me too.
Okay, this is the top one. Hold on, I'm gonna put them up. Just give me 1 sec. This is the top dog.
Oh, what happened here? Here.
Okay, here you go. This is the top dog. Okay. And this is the bottom dog. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, those are the two dogs.
The second dog, I mean, you can't really tell anything from a front shot, first of all. As far as you can tell
There's a side
one
shot.
half.
There's a side shot of both of them.
Do what?
Yeah.
There's a side shot of both of them.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see. Uh,
It's undebatable.
oh yeah, well we ain't doing all that.
Right there.
I had to unfollow debatable. No offense, Mike Thomas.
all right, let's move on. Okay. Go ahead, Damien.
Okay, Tony. He wants to know: have you ever seen Miyagi's mom? I don't know how that's relevant to the conversation, but that's the question.
Probably, how do you know it's French bulldogs? I mean, or something like that. I mean, it's not whatever it is. It's a mix. I mean, you don't have to. All you have to do is understand dog breeds and have some kind of knowledge to be able to look at a dog and see the features that it carries. You know, to distinguish that something else is in there.
All right, let's
Plus
do
everything
that. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's not use this time to critique any bloodlines or ask questions about our opinions on certain dogs. Let's use this time to receive some education. Cause I mean it'll go on and on and on about Miyagi this and this, that, and exactly that. So let's move on away from that. I got a question from somebody that's actually about the dog. So hold on, let me pull it up. No offense to nobody, but I don't want to spend like 2 hours talking about exotics.
I agree.
Do puppies need calcium, and at what age is it safe to give them?
No, they do not.
Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead, Doc.
No, they don't.
Right. You don't need to substitute calcium. They should get it from everything that you're giving them in their food. You shouldn't have to supplement it. If you're keeping your dogs in the dark and you're not feeding them correctly, they're going to get rickets and they're going to be calcium deficient. That's it. Anybody? That's good? Go ahead, Damien.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, got a question of what do you guys think about the new direction of the American Bully breed? I know there's not really a set standard, and technically we may not have a breed, but with the accumulation of championships that the dogs that exhibit more mass, less structure, do you think that's going to eventually benefit the breed if that dog becomes if that dog becomes the face of what the bully breed is?
Well, there is a set standard, so we'll hit on that. There is a set standard, and standards are left open for interpretation. You know, everyone has their vision of the standard, and it can be tweaked. I mean, there's room there, but some people are going completely left field with it. Yeah, I think we've touched base on this before. You know, certain people have the following to sway breeds in different directions, or to sway our breed in a certain direction. I think the reason we have so much change consistently and it moves in different direction is because of the fads. You know, someone does a mix, someone does whatever, produces a dog that has a completely different look. You have really good promoters behind that dog. They're promoting, they're doing Photoshop, they're putting pictures up, and everyone falls for it. You have a community of a bunch of people that don't know any better, or you may be new, and you just get fooled, and you go from that, and this creates a domino effect. Everybody jumps on the bandwagon, and then before you know it, you're in a completely different, going into a completely different direction. And our breed evolves a lot quicker than any other breed. We have just such a big community, and everyone is a breeder. Almost everybody that buys a dog is gonna breed that dog. Right. So it's just, you know, it's one of them things. So right. Well, I think that
since we on the standard, let's pull the standard up, okay? Because sometimes Tony and I, you know, that's my man's, we get into it a lot about the standard. I personally think that a lot of people that have their own opinion on what standard is. Excuse me.
Let me pull this up. Hold on. Let me try to get this up here. Because for some reason I lost my.
I'm gonna put it up on the screen. I got it. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. I just wanted to say.
Oh yeah, my hotspot turned off. All right, hold on.
You got a lot of people that I see on Facebook, and I hear them saying, "I breed to the standard. I beat to the standard." But you got people that have been in from the beginning and people that's new. So which standard are you breeding to? Because how many times did they change the standard?
Well, there's tweaks to the standard. It's not completely changed. You know, you make.
But I'm just saying, if you change anything in it, you change the standard. Doesn't matter if you change one line, you change the standard. But I'm just saying, how many times have the standard been changed? So if you've been breeding since the beginning, when they had the first standard, you see it one way, you're going to breed a certain way. So we got the standard done changed a lot of time. Now, even those people that I hear say, I breed to the standard, I breed to the standard, sometimes I say, I don't think you read the standard. And I'm going to put it up.
You're correct. You're correct. And a lot of people that say that have dogs that are super terrier and just completely lack breed type. So
let's start at the beginning, right?
Comes the kennel.
American Bully should give the great impression of strength for its size, right? It is a compact and medium to large dog with a muscular body and a blocky head. The American Bully should have the appearance of heavy bone structure and a bulky build to its look. Now, all of these people that I'm hearing saying, I breed to the standard, I breed to the standard, dogs don't even look like the first line in the standard. They don't have the appearance of great strength. To me, when they say a dog looks like it has great strength, that means that if you take a guy who's 5'5", and he's huge, muscular, he's 225 pounds, 5'5", and you got a guy who's 6'3", who's 225 pounds, a totally different build. So the smaller guy looks stronger because for his size, he just packs on so much more bulk. So that's what the impression that I get when I hear that. So when I see their dogs, they have no bone, they have no bulk to them, they don't have any heavy bone structure, nothing, right? So then you go to the next line. The American Bully is a companion breed exhibiting confidence and zest for life, along with an exuberant willingness to please and bond with his family. Some of these dogs are aggressive as hell, thus making the American Bully an excellent family companion. Despite the American Bully's fierce and powerful appearance, their demeanor is gentle. So these dogs are supposed to look just strong as hell and just be so gentle. So a lot of them dogs don't even fit the second line, right? They're great with kids and extremely friendly with strangers and other dogs and animals. Human or dog aggression, extreme shyness or viciousness is very uncharacteristic of the breed and undesirable. So that's just the second line. We're not even in the third line yet. And these are the same people that screaming, I don't care about the fads, I breed to the standard. But the standard says all of these things like that Magoo is. And then they wonder why they pick him. They pick him because they're trying to show people that breed type, yeah, he has his flaws and things like that, but he's fitting what the standard says. If your dog doesn't fit the standard, don't say you breed to the standard. It just kills me. I laugh at it when I hear people say, I don't care, I'm not going to fall for the fads, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. I breed to the standard. But if you look at their dogs, they don't look like that. That's what the standard says. Read the standard before you open your mouth. It makes me mad. I apologize, but it just pisses me off. Go ahead, Doc. And we can go back to it because it's still up, but go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, what was the original question?
What was the original question, David? I apologize, man, but I'm just so happy that somebody asked that because if we got enough people on here, you know, that everybody gets to put it in perspective. I mean, if you read the stats, a lot of people who cry about other breeders not breeding to the standard don't even read the standard. Go ahead, Doc.
Okay. Well, yeah, we do have a standard. I did a whole post on Bully University the other day because somebody asked how the faults and flaws that are in